one more quick question before we talk about some of those points as well. Do you believe on an urgent basis in a country like India, one needs to start vaccination for all adults, not just 45 plus as we've seen, because it's hitting people of
there's a lot of science.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of science in that. I mean, the US has also gone through this. Some states saying we'll start with these categories. Others now recently have begun to say everybody above the age of 18 or 16, as the case may be on the vaccine, is eligible for a vaccination. So I think there's no right or wrong way. We're all learning. This is the first time in a long time that society has had to face something of this type. My personal impression is you should open up vaccinations to as many people as possible. And I'll give you my very simple reason for it. My reason is that if you want to get people back to work, when they come back to work physically, I don't mean work from home, but work physically. And remember, large parts of the labor pool are working physically even now. Retail, essential services, these are people who don't have a choice. When we talk about working from home with flexibility, we're really talking about the knowledge economy workers, which are fewer than we would think. So we talk about getting them all back and coming back into the center of towns where office buildings are in a Mumbai, in a Gurgaon, in places like that. It makes a difference to all the SMEs in the neighborhood. It makes a difference to the guy you pick up your chai from, or your lunch from, or your newspaper from, or your coffee in the morning, or the haircut on the way home, or a drink in a bar on the way back. These SMEs cannot sort of be kept up on life support without the advent of people coming back to physical work. So my general belief is if you were to vaccinate larger swaths of the population, including 30 and 40-year-olds, they would come back to physical places of work and provide a much needed impetus for these SMEs.
Mr.
That's
Banga,
kind of where I'm coming from.
Sure. Now, in the context of the pandemic, how has digitization changed the face of global industry? Do you see, for example, work from home redefining the way business is conducted even after this is all over?
Yeah. I mean, look, I think digitization is the one single biggest thing that everybody has spoken of during this pandemic. It's changed the way you shop, it's changed the way you interact, it's changed the way you conduct meetings and the like, right? And I think it surprised everybody that we were all able to work relatively productively, some say with higher productivity in this digital environment. So I think there's two sides to this. There is definitely one side that says we were able to make it work. Look at our own company. Transactions have worked without a fault, despite our employees finding it very challenging in a number of markets to go to work physically. So it's worked seamlessly, and innovation is happening and cybersecurity is being taken care of, etc., etc. But that's not the only story. Culture, innovation, onboarding new people, these things, Vishnu, I don't see them working as easily without the physical interaction that human beings crave for and desire. So my general sense is, whether it's e-commerce or it's working from home, I think the pendulum has swung a great deal one way. I don't think it should go back to the way it was, but let's not declare that it's not going backwards somewhere. It's a pendulum. Sure. It will swing back, and you can see it in markets where opening is more advanced. You look at China, you look at Australia, you look at parts of Asia where opening is advanced,
right.
And already e-commerce percentages, which had doubled at a point of time, have slipped back higher than where they were pre-COVID, but not where they were in May and June and July last year. The same for office. I mean, our office attendance in Asia is back up to a very high level.